guest was a top finalist on MasterChef, and she's back in our kitchen to whip up one of her delicious Venezuelan treats. Please welcome back Chef Alejandra Schrader. Welcome back, Alejandra. We're so happy to have you.
Also, to be home.
We love having you here, and Katie Stevens loves having you here as well. She decided she would from the bowl type. Yeah.
I am so hungry, so I'm very excited.
We eat a lot around here, Katie, in case you haven't noticed. So what you're making for us today is something called Yucca Bunuelos. Buñuelos.
Yeah, and they're the Venezuelan version of beignets.
Of a beignet.
So they're made out of yucca, they're gluten-free, so hey, that's my argument.
So it's a beignet without the flour.
It's beignet without the flour. So we're just using yucca.
Which is a vegetable.
Which is a vegetable.
So it's good for you.
And
there's that.
I've had yucca fries.
Yeah, exactly.
And this is, this is something that we normally do either for dessert or as an afternoon snack with a little cafecito, with a little latte. And so it's for me, it's very comfort food. It's like warm and fuzzies all over.
And it's also a family recipe, right?
It is a family recipe. I learned this from my grandmother, and she's no longer with us, but I get to keep her legacy alive through her recipe.
I know. She'd be so proud. And these are delicious,
So let's get started. We have
Okay.
just pre-cooked some yucca. You know, you can see it right there in our video. That's how it looks like.
What if you can't find a yucca?
If you can't find a yucca, try really hard to find yucca. If not, then you can maybe try sweet potatoes. I would say it's a good second alternative. So on this one, we just peeled it, we cut it, we boiled it in water to cook it down.
Okay.
And we're just gonna add all of our little ingredients. This is very easy. So we just had an egg yolk right there, a little bit of sugar.
How long would you cook the yucca?
I would say for 25 minutes.
Like you would a potato?
Water, like you would a potato.
Okay.
This is tapioca flour. Tapioca flour is the starch that comes out from yucca. And if you like boba tea, that's what boba tea comes from.
Right.
It comes from tapioca flour. So without knowing, if you've had a boba tea, you've already had some yucca.
Right.
Can I just say, this is yumma.
Oh,
This is so true.
Amazing.
So
I'm so glad you like it. So let's put that on high, and we'll let this do its work.
So you just bring it, you have it come together. So it probably takes a second because
It takes a second so that it can all incorporate.
Combine.
But this is what you would get, right?
Okay.
So you'll get like just like dough. It looks like
Kinda looks like
regular
mashed
dough,
potatoes.
like mashed potatoes. And you can use a scoop or not to make your little yucca balls.
Does it stick to your fingers?
A little bit. So I just actually just moistened my hands before I did this.
All right.
And you just dump it in your fryer.
So how hot should the oil be?
The oil should be 365 degrees.
Okay.
If you don't have a deep fryer, you can use a Dutch oven, or you can just use like a deep saucepan.
And what kind of oil would you use?
I like to use grapeseed oil.
Okay.
I like to use grapeseed oil because it has that nice, like, high smoking point, you know, so it's good for frying.
And it's better than some of the other oils anyway, don't you think?
It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really. If I could fry in coconut oil, I totally would. Sure. So while we let that.
How long would it take for those to?
I would say between like 7 and 8 minutes.
Oh, okay.
You know,
And
like,
how do you know?
it
They
depends.
come to the top?
Because they will pop to the top,
Okay.
and they'll also be like this beautiful golden browns.
Yum. Wow.
So we already have some made.
Okay.
And we're gonna use this to do our nice finished dish.
Okay,
Is that
so while those are being made, let's make the delicious syrup that they're dredged in.
Oh, yes, that's right.
What is in the syrup?
So in the syrup, you know, and we already have it beautifully made here because it takes a little while, right? But we made it with piloncillo, papelón, or panela. It depends on where you're.
I'm sorry, one more time.
Piloncillo, which
Piloncillo.
Piloncillo, sorry,
good.
piloncillo, which
Beautiful.
So I forgot the name in Portuguese, but there's a name for it. It means little stack. So some people knows it as panela, some people knows it as papelón. Like in Venezuela, we call it papelón, and it's nothing but unrefined whole cane sugar.
And that's how it comes?
And that's how it comes. When you go to the store, that's how you find it. Sometimes you'll find the mini ones, and sometimes you'll find like the big ones.
Would you have to go to a specialty market to get them?
You know what? These days in Southern California, we're lucky. So at Rouse and all, you know,
you can get that. Oh,
you can get them.
Okay.
But if you're somewhere, you can you can go to a Latino market, and for sure you'll find it.
So this is really just sugar.
That's just sugar, and actually you just cut that up and you put it with a little tiny bit of water in a a pot.
Okay.
And to this, we just add, in my recipe, I like to use cinnamon and cloves, right, with a little bit of orange grind. But if you like other spices, if you like star anise, if you like nutmeg, you can use that
So
too.
I know this recipe is traditionally a Christmas recipe, isn't it?
Right, it's traditionally Christmas, but you know what? They're so delicious that in Venezuela we eat it all year round.
And could you make them ahead of time?
Yes, I would say the syrup, I like to make the buñuelos fresh because to me that's when they taste their best.
Oh my God.
And you know what? I don't skimp on the syrup.
I know.
Is it
looks so
possible
good.
to leave them in the oil too long?
You know what? It is possible. Like right now, they're about done. You know.
What happened? Did they just become like?
I would say that they will kind of burn. You know, like it will get like overly brown.
And you were just in Sweden, is that right?
I was just
What were you
in
doing
Sweden,
in
you
Sweden?
guys. I'm so
Beautiful.
excited. I was there to launch the Chef's Manifesto. 16 different chefs from 13 countries went to Sweden to launch the manifesto at the Eat Food Forum. And this is it's a thematic framework that is meant to encourage like chefs and cooks to do their part in delivering the Sustainable Development Goals as established by the United Nations.
wonderful.
So talk about a great cause.
That's a great cause.
so
To that
wonderful.
end, what could we do in our own homes? to
In our
fight
own
hunger?
homes, you know, and please check chefmanifesto.com so you can check the thematic areas. But you can do simple things like not throwing away your food, implementing corn night, like clean out your refrigerator.
Using
Not throwing away your
leftovers,
food.
like
which
leftover
is
risotto.
exactly
And you
going
made your
in.
arancini.
Yes.
So
Also
I'm
the
giving
same.
back to the world as well.
And there's a theme here. Everything we eat today is in this shape.
Shape of a ball.
Right.
right.
You can go to farmers market and support your local farmers market. You can shop seasonal ingredients. You know, so there's so many things, like there's not too little work that we can do at home, you know what I mean? And that's why it was so important being in Sweden and presenting this project to so many different organizations from all around the world. I was lucky to be there with Chef Mary Sue Milliken, who is a fellow sister, Oxfam's Sister on the Planet ambassador. And so you'll be able to see her, and it was great. It was just, I'm just so fortunate to be there.
We love you, Alejandra. Thank you so much.
Thank you.